pieces, make it a workhorse, all that kind of jazz. The shop here, finally, we're inside of it. I know it's not much, but it's enough for me. We are a dealer for Martin and Obsession, so if y'all need anything, feel free to reach out. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll get you taken care of right here in Georgia as well. Same as Martin and Obsession. They're built right down South Georgia. So good to be able to help a Georgia company out. But yeah, so we'll get into the review, and what I'll probably end up doing is going over a few things on my bow, maybe a little different, maybe a peek as far as how you want to set yours up once you get it. We'll go over a few things like that. We'll go over some of the tuning things with the new K-set tuning system that they run. Kevin Strother designed that bow. He designed that K-set tuning system from the ground up. It's a completely new riser design, and I absolutely love it. I was a little skeptical at first with the shorter brace height, but the way that he's designed that cam, and it draws like butter. Excuse me. It just draws unbelievably smooth. Y'all will see that here in a little bit. But I'm not going to sit here and go through, I've got my paper tuner over here. I'm not going to go through, showing you how to tune it, but I can explain it to you pretty well. I'm not, I don't want to take my bow out of tune, but my bow is in tune, and I've got another competition next weekend, so I don't really want to go through all that. Not that it's much, because even though, I've got a press right here, you don't need a press. It doesn't take much to take it out of tune or put it back in tune. I just don't feel like doing that, just because, like I said, I've got a competition next weekend. So, but without further ado, we'll get into it. So here she is. I take all these arrows and all this stuff off of it. We can actually get a good look at it. Sitting on stand off over here. But here she is. This is the Veil Night camo pattern. It's a beautiful color. I love the way it turned out. It's the 2025 Martin Archery FIRECAT, excuse me, with the K-set tuning system you can see right there on the limbs. Now, first impressions, like I said, I was a little skeptical of the short, 6-inch brace height, being a 70-pound bow. The last time I had a 70-pound bow with a 6-inch brace height, it was a little aggressive on the draw cycle, I'm not going to lie. Whatever Kevin's figured out, and the guys at Martin, Joel and all them, and Dennis with Obsession, because they're not running the FIRECAT cam, but they've all kind of got this all redesigned from the past couple of years. What they've come up with this year is, I don't care if you got a 70-pound bow, 80-pound bow. This thing draws like I'm pulling maybe 60 pounds. Maybe 60 pounds. It is so smooth to draw. I was sitting up against a tree this morning. You know how any bow, you always got to practice sitting down. Just because you may have to back the pounders down because you're not using a whole bunch of certain muscles that you're used to, when you're standing up. But typically, for a bow hunter and turkey, turkey world, stuff like that, you're going to be backing the poundage down so you can have a smoother and slower draw. I did not have to do that. This bow is still, you can see my limb bolts, they are still completely maxed down, 70 pounds. I did not have to do that, and I just sitting right up against the tree and just as smooth as I could this morning. It was butter. It was absolutely butter. I love this thing. Now, a lot of people, when they first see these, they'll ask about why you got so many, speed knocks. Each bow that gets sent out is going to have a different amount. It's for the proper string oscillation for that bow. The 34s, they run a certain amount. The 32s, they run a certain amount. The 30s, they run a certain amount. The M30s, or the magnesium riser, they're going to run a certain amount. The 36, the 40 that they're working on. Every boat's going to have a different amount for proper string oscillation. Also, as far as strings, these aren't just your standard factory strings. A lot of people, like, let's just say Bear has some of the worst factory strings out there. Matthews used back in the day, used to have some bad strings, you know, as far as factory strings. These are gas strings. And when I found that out, I was blown away. These are gas strings, and Obsession, on the Obsession side of it, because, you know, Martin and Obsession have joined forces together. But with Martins, you're getting gas strings, and Obsessions, you're getting the ABVs. So America's Best Bowstring, and it's just, they're not cutting corners where corners don't need to be cut. It's absolutely phenomenal. Smooth draw. Like I said, it really surprised me with that short 6-inch axle to axle, or brace height. That really surprised me. But my package, 34 axle to axle. I'm running, for me, from both competition and hunting, I'm running because I want to practice and play all at the same time. So for this bow, typically for competition, yeah, I'll run a longer axle to axle, like a 38 or a 40 or something like that. But I wanted this one in a 34 so I could actually put it through its paces in both the competition 3D world and the hunting world. So that's why I built this one the way I did. Anyways, I'm running a 15-inch competition bar on the front and a 10-inch competition bar in the back. I've got a limb-driven fall-away. So the limb-driven fall-away, you can see two different logos here. It's the new Trophy Taker, or Trophy Ridge Propel is what it's called for the limb driver, limb-driven rest. But I'm running, you see the second name, the QAD. So the 30, the 32 on the Martin side have a cutout in the riser to where you can run an integrated rest. I was under the impression it was for all the Martins. From what I've heard, is it was some kind of engineering thing. The 30s and 32s have more meat on the riser, so they're able to run those cutouts for the IMS mounts. I mistaked that. I went ahead and bought an IMS mount, or an IMS drop away, but because of that, I just got the adapter. It just screws into your regular burger hole spot, and then it has the IMS mount system on it. I'm running a CBE Trek Pro 3. Trek Pro 3. It's a 3-pin. Oh, sorry about that. It is a 3-pin slider. Got all my yardages and everything on it right there. So the way I've got mine set up is my top, middle, bottom is 20, 30, 40. And with a 3-pin slider, a lot of people know this, but I've had a couple people ask me, how does a 3-pin slider work? So I've got it set up with my 2 indicators. You can set up 3 indicators if you want, but I've got it set up with my 2 indicators, my 20 and my 40, and my 30 I know is right in the middle. So I don't have to move anything to hit, the 20, 30, 40. I don't have to do anything. But if I wanted to, sorry, doing everything backwards here. If I wanted to slide it down, my indicators move down. I can use my top one, my middle one, my bottom one. I can use any of those, any indicator I want on any yardage, because they all move. The whole housing is what moves, so all of your pins move together. And it does have a fast stop on it, so once I rack it all the way back to the top, it is back in line with my 20, 30, 40. You can individually adjust your 20, 30, 40 on there as well on your pins. This one has a slide rheostat cover to cover your to give you, if you're having too much starburst on your pins, you can block them off real quick. And I am running the Viper Archery. I am running their push button rechargeable light. So now that I turned it on, let me make sure it's off. Okay. But it's the Viper Archery rechargeable light. You don't have to worry about batteries anymore or anything like that. And it comes with 3 different adapters, and it's a metal housing and metal adapters. There's none of this plastic stuff anymore. So I absolutely love that. It's good, sturdy, you don't have to worry about it. But you just turn it right here. You can see the little charging port, wherever it went. it. There it is. So you just plug it in right there, USB, and you're good to go. I just turn it to keep the charging port closed. That way you don't get any dust and water or anything like that in there. But as far as a review on the bow, it's 4.3 pounds without anything on it. Bear riser. I think with all my stuff on it, including arrows, I think it's right about 6.5, something like that. So for me, my own opinion, I like a heavier bow. Heavier bows are more stable for me at full draw. Excuse me. So, is it necessarily the lightest bow on the market? At a 34-inch axle to axle? No, it's not. Is it still light enough to carry it all day? Yeah, it is. Like I said, I went on a 2-mile trek this morning and I didn't have a single problem with it at all. So I never got tired. My arm never got tired. It was perfectly fine. I don't even know. I haven't found a single negative with this bow yet. I just haven't. I think the only thing that I did notice was the roller guard. Roller guard just seems a little close to where you can see in relation to my drop away. It just seemed a little close. But the guys at Martin, I talked to them, and they have, they sent me out, a little spacer kit, and you just put the spacers right here behind. You pull this off, put the spacers in, put this back in. So that'll space it out away a little bit, but it doesn't affect anything. I mean, the only thing I had to change was, I had to change my fletchings to a smaller profile fletching, but I run mechanicals anyways, so I'm not worried about having a big, huge, tall vane. So it doesn't matter to me. That wasn't enough for me to say, here, take your bow back. It wasn't enough. I run mechanicals. I can get away with a smaller vane. I'm running a 5mm, so there's no reason that space is hurting. And it's just, like I said, that was the only thing. It is on a true floating yoke system, the K-set system. So while we're up here talking about the cam, let's go ahead and get into that. A lot of these companies I've seen will run this type of floating yoke, but it'll come up and it'll actually attach in like an actual yoke system. This one is a true floating yoke, so no matter what you do with these, there's no twisting of these yoke cables to change anything, because you're not. But with the K-set system right here, so you just put this is the wrong size, but I'm going to use it anyways. For example, you put your Allen key in right here, and you just turn. Now, you always want to be, if you're getting, a tear or something like that, you're always going to be behind the bow when you're doing this. So if you need to go left, but that's all it is. There's no set screw, there's no nothing. It's a threaded axle and a threaded washer combo, to where once I make the adjustment and stop making the adjustment, it does not move. The washers and axles are opposite threads of each other, so it does not move. So once you make the adjustment, that's it. Make your adjustment, shoot again, good to go. Make it and keep doing it until you get your bullet hole. But again, I don't have anything negative to say about it. I've been shooting this bow every day, every single day. Whether it's inside here at the shop, a small little, 7 yards, standing all the way back there at the back wall, or it's, all the way out to 120 at the house. It's just, there hasn't been a day where I've felt bad after shooting this bow. I felt tired after shooting this bow. Even at 70 pounds, I can go to a competition with this bow and shoot all day long. It's stupid comfortable. It's stupid. It's stupid easy to draw comparatively to any other company out there that has 70 pounds with a 6-inch brace height. This is easier than that said company, because that said company has a horrible draw cycle. It's pollen out here in the shop. Going hunting with it, you know, I'll carry mine, you know, right here on my side. I'll carry it, and just like I said, I walked 2 miles in and 2 miles out, and sat there and hunted for about 3 hours this morning. I never got tired. Never got tired of carrying the bow. It's like I said, maybe with everything on it, maybe 6 pounds. And right now I'm just running, you know, small 6-arrow quiver, just the G5 headlock. It just goes on there and clips in. So I mean, that's all I got. It's not crazy, you know, like a tight spot or anything like that. But you know, this is what I've got for now. And it works. It works for me. So, but with that, if I'm going hunting, I leave the quiver on. I hunt with the quiver on if I'm going hunting. So that's why I've got the amount of weight out back that I do on my sidebar. And to be honest with you, it's the same amount of weight I run without it on here. I can't get rid of that pollen. Excuse me. But that's it. That's the only thing I have for it. I wanted to give it a good quality time before I do a review on it. Like I said, I didn't want to just jump out of the box and say, here's a bow. No, I wanted to spend some time with it to tell you what I honestly thought about it. It also does have right here, it does have an adjustable let-off. It is an adjustable rotating mod, so you don't have to worry about individual mods or anything like that. These bows are IBO right now at 342. I think I've got mine right now with my arrow set up and all that kind of stuff. I'm right at 313 on mine. I don't have a chrono here to show you, but I went to a shop, went to a chronograph, and it was at 313 with my arrow set up. My arrow setup right now is 438 grains with 19.3% FOC. But I'm running I'm running 125 in the front, and a 50 grain insert and a 13 grain outsert on an 8.3 GPI arrow, cut at 26 3/8. My draw cycle is 29, but my rest is a little bit behind the shelf, so lets me run a little bit shorter arrow. Keeps me in that spine, the GPI range that I want to be in. So 440 grain arrow, 19% FOC, 70 pounds, 29 inches, 313 feet per second. That's what I'm getting. Individual results may vary, but I figured while we got you in here, while we're doing the video, I'll take a couple shots in here in the shop. Now, in the shop, it's going to be louder, but if y'all have been following me, y'all seen my video that I did with my son out at 100 yards. At 100 yards, you can hear my arrow hitting louder than what the phone picked up standing right next to me shooting the bow off. The bow was quieter than the arrow at 100 yards. It was insane. The quietest bow I've ever shot. But like I said, that's just my own opinion and what I feel about it. So inside the shop it may not be that quiet, but outside it is. So we'll get some shots going here. And I'm going to have to get that out of the target because that is buried up to my fletchings. I'm going to set my fletchings on the bag target. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. I got this is a 13 grain sleeve. I'll show you real quick. 125 grain field point, 13 grain sleeve with a 50 grain outsert. So that's why my FOC is so high in light arrows. I mean, I can still reach out to 130 with this arrow build all day long with this bow. Love it, love it, love it. But if y'all got any more questions about it, reach out to me. Let me know. I'll answer anything I can. carry, I sell.